In 1983, 6 robbers broke into a warehouse near London expecting to grab about £3 million in cash. Instead, they walked out with £26 million in gold, 3 tons of it. And that gold may have gone on to curse almost everyone who ever touched it. Every word of this really happened. Let's set the scene. Near Heathrow Airport in London sat a high-security warehouse belonging to a company called Brinksmat. It stored valuables in transit, cash, jewels, gold, behind heavy doors and serious security. On paper, not an easy target. But this gang had the one thing that beats any lock: a man on the inside. One of the security guards was related by marriage to a member of the crew. He gave them the layout, the routines, and a key to get in. So on a November morning, the robbers walked in like they belonged there. What happened next was brutal. They overpowered the guards, poured petrol over one of them, and threatened to set him alight unless he handed over the codes to the vault. It worked. The guards gave up the combinations, and the robbers swung open the door, expecting stacks of cash. Instead, they found a wall of gold, around 6,800 gold bars, 3 tons of the stuff. It was so far beyond what they had planned for that they almost couldn't believe it. In a single morning, a simple cash robbery had turned into the biggest gold heist in British history. Now, here's where most people think the story ends: the getaway. But this is where the real problem actually began. Because you cannot spend a gold bar. 3 tons of stolen, traceable bullion is almost useless to a criminal. Flash a single bar and the police are at your door. The gang had pulled off the perfect robbery, and now they were sitting on a mountain of metal they couldn't touch. So they needed a magician. Enter a man nicknamed Goldfinger. His job was to make 26 million pounds of stolen gold simply disappear by turning it into legal gold. He melted the bars down, mixed the gold with copper and other metals to disguise it, and fed it piece by piece back into the legitimate gold market. And it worked so well that it became a British legend. People say that if you bought gold jewelry in the UK in the years after 1983, there's a real chance a tiny piece of the Brinksmat gold is sitting on your finger right now. Most of that 26 million was never recovered. It melted into jewelry, into property, into the criminal underworld, and vanished. But the gold left something behind, a shadow, because over the years that followed, the people connected to that gold started to die, not of old age. One after another, robbers, launderers, middlemen, people who knew too much, turned up murdered, and many of the cases were never solved. The list grew so long it earned a name: the Curse of Brinksmat. Even Goldfinger himself, decades later, was shot dead outside his own home. That killing, too, remains unsolved. So, was it really a curse, or just the ugly, obvious truth that when this much dirty money is floating around, the people near it tend not to live quietly? Depends who you ask. But the body count is real, and the gold is still out there. So that's Brinksmat, a robbery that hit a jackpot no one planned for, a fortune that was worthless until one man melted it into thin air, and a trail of bodies that turned a heist into a ghost story. The perfect crime didn't end when they drove away with the gold. In a way, it never really ended at all. And the strangest part? Some of that stolen gold may be closer than you think, quietly melted, resold, and worn by people who have no idea what they're carrying. But that's a whole other story.